Here's the bad advice I want to talk about in this video. Now, if you've been in the Amazon influencer program for a while, you've probably heard all of these things, and you probably even thought to yourself, this isn't bad advice, this is good advice. So I want to set this up with saying, I think all of this advice that you see here has either been good advice at some point or is good advice in some situations. But for each of these things, I kind of want to break it into two parts and say why I think this is kind of bad advice and what better advice would be for each of these things. So let's start out with the number one thing I hear, which is just create videos, create, make videos, make more videos. I also see a lot of people saying, hey, how many videos did you make before you got to $100 a month? Or how many videos did you make before you got to $1,000 a month? The reason I think this is bad advice, or I think this should not be talked about as much, is because number of videos does not matter. What actually matters is that you have a video in a good spot for a product that sells a lot. That is all that matters. And to demonstrate this, let me show you my Amazon storefront. Now, this is public. Amazon doesn't like you sharing things on the back end, but all of this is public. So what I'm going to show you, these are the most recent videos that I have created. And if you look at this heart thing, these are helpful votes. And one thing you might notice as I'm scrolling down is there are not a lot of helpful votes. A big reason for this is a lot of these videos are more recent. If I scroll down to some of my older videos, you'll notice that's the same thing. On all of these videos without helpful votes, that is a good indication that these videos are not really making a lot of money. And if you were to look at all of these videos and see how many of my videos have helpful votes versus how many don't, I would say probably about 2/3 of my videos don't have any helpful votes at all, which means they're either making very little money or no money at all. I have about 2,200 videos. So if you think about that, I probably only have maybe 300 or 400 videos that are making any money at all, and even less than that are making decent money. Now, I don't think that means that you just should not make videos. I think the idea to create a lot of videos can be a good idea, especially if you're starting out, if that is what helps you get better, or if that's what helps you get familiar with the Amazon influencer program. I think the real bad advice here is to make videos for the sake of making videos, especially if you make a video style that really isn't performing well. Maybe you just do a single point and shoot and you just talk over it. That's kind of how all of us have started out. And 2 or 3 years ago, that style of video actually worked quite well just because the program wasn't as saturated. All you had to do is have any video out and that would do well. We are at the point now where, because of the saturation in the Amazon influencer program, nearly every single product already has video. So to do well, you have to outperform the other videos. So if you're creating a lot of videos and they're fantastic and they're the best videos ever, then great, keep on doing that. If you are creating videos just for the sake of creating videos, you're probably going to suffer quality and you're not going to be as successful. The second thing I see a lot of, which I think is bad advice, is people saying, don't make videos for free. One of the things I hear a lot of people say is, value your time. You shouldn't make products for free. It hurts other influencers as well. If everyone's doing it for free, then sellers won't pay us money to make videos. And I do see some validity in these arguments. And I will say the same thing too. Like, whenever I get an email asking me to make a video, I always tell people I charge money. That's just how things are. But the idea that you should never do a video for free, I think, is a silly idea, because you're potentially passing up great opportunities, especially if you're just starting out and maybe that's the only way you can get free product. And maybe you're just learning how to do this. I don't see any problem at all with doing things for free. I don't care if it hurts the ecosystem and it makes it so that no one else can charge money for videos. I think that's baloney. I think if you're making videos that are high quality, sellers and agents, they see that, they notice that, they're still going to pay you money. Having people create videos for free is not going to really hurt anyone else. To demonstrate why I think it's a good idea to look for opportunities, even if the product is free, I'm doing something I probably shouldn't do, but I'm going to show you my number one selling product. So this is it. It's this dash camera. If you come here and you look at the videos, you can see it has one seller video. It's just, it's a dumb video, which is great because it means no one's going to buy it after watching that. And then my video is the very next video. It doesn't show on this for some reason how many helpful votes there are, but it is in the hundreds. I don't know how many. It has had this top position for quite a while. Someone emailed me about this product, asked if I wanted to review it. I said I charge money. They said, nope, we're not going to pay you. I went and I looked at this Amazon page and I saw that it was selling a lot. I also noticed that it was on Creator Connections. And I probably at the time watched some of these other videos to see what the quality was like and to see if I could make a better video than what was already out there. I decided I probably could, so I thought I would make a video. Now, if we look at my stats on YouTube, you can see I did the video in March, so it's February right now of the next year. So this is about 1 year old. And you can see in YouTube, it started out not doing that great and then it gained traction. It hasn't been doing amazing and it's earned me $80. Now, just that alone, $80, that was probably worth the time it took me to make that video. I probably spent at most 2 or 3 hours to put everything together and edit the video. But if we look at this is my total earnings for that product with the breakdown for everything. So I did this at the end of the year. So this was a month ago, where at the time my YouTube earnings were $70. My on-site earnings, sold a lot on-site, that's nearly $2,000. Amazon off-site from YouTube, next to nothing, about $24. But the fact that it was on Creator Connections, over $15,000 just from Creator Connections for one product in less than a year. So if you want to pass up opportunities like that and put your foot down and say, nope, I'm absolutely not doing any product reviews for free, then that's the kind of product you might be missing out on. I think the good advice here is to look at the product and decide whether or not it's going to benefit you to make a video for that. Maybe you're new in the program and any product is going to help you get better at making videos. That might be worth it to make a video. Perhaps the product is something that you need or you want, and you might pay for that product anyway. Having someone send it to you to do a review might be worth it just so you have the product. And maybe you are like me and you notice that it was on Creator Connections and that it's selling a lot, and there's a slight possibility that you might get a good position on the carousel. It might be worth taking that chance. The third piece of bad advice I want to talk about is to just film everything in your home. And I'm totally guilty of this. I've said this before. And again, if you're just starting out and you want practice making videos, I think this is fine. And if you were in the program 2 or 3 years ago and there were not a lot of videos that already existed, this advice made sense at that time. But now where everything is saturated, this advice doesn't really make as much sense. If we go back to my Amazon storefront and look at some of these products, this was a time where I decided I'm just going to go through my house. I'm going to film everything. I think this was actually for a campaign, like a vertical campaign or something like that. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to go around my house and just film everything. And you can see some of these do have helpful votes. We got 1 here, 3 here. Most of these items don't have any helpful votes. And all of the time it took me to make these videos would have probably been better spent doing better or different products. Now, I think eventually over time, I've made enough money that it was probably worth my time. But as more and more people join the program, just filming a video because you have that product in your house doesn't really make as much sense. If you have products that are selling really well on Amazon, or maybe there's a product that you're just absolutely passionate about and you can make a better video on that than anyone else, yeah, totally do that video. Like, that's what people want to see. People want to see people passionate about the products they have. But if you're just filming for the sake of filming and getting numbers in, it's really not going to help, and it's going to take time that you could spend doing other videos that would probably benefit you more. The fourth thing I want to talk about is the advice I hear that says focus on more expensive products. I don't hear this advice as much as some of the other things, but I definitely hear a lot of people saying that, and it makes sense. The more expensive a product is, when there is a sale, there's going to be a higher commission. Let me show you another product that I probably shouldn't be showing you, but this is another product I've been having a decent amount of success with. Right now it's $50, which you could argue is kind of expensive. I think it's usually cheaper than this. It's the off season right now. But if you look, I actually have 2 videos in here. I did a comparison with a bunch of other weed pullers, and then I did another comparison with just one other weed puller. So both of these are in here. So I've had pretty decent sales with this product. I did the video last spring, so in May, and it's February right now. So again, almost a year, and you can kind of see how it really kind of jumped up in views in July, went down. So on YouTube, I've made $121 for it. So probably worth my time there. If we look at my total earnings for that product, this is not on Creator Connections, unfortunately, but my on-site sales have been enough for almost $2,000. So if we look at the performance, I've had 1.1 thousand sales on this item. When it is summer, this thing sells like crazy. I've done a handful of videos for a product that's like $1,000 or $2,000. And the reality is, if you have just one sale on that, it's fantastic. It's great. You get a lot of commissions. But even if you do get sales, it's probably not going to be very often. If you can find a really inexpensive product that's just selling like crazy, and you can do the best video for that, and you can get a good video carousel placement, you're probably going to have more luck with the product that's inexpensive but sells a lot than an expensive product that just doesn't sell as much. So the focus really shouldn't be on how expensive is the product, but the focus should always be on how well is the product selling and what chance do you have of getting a good video placement for that product. And the last thing I want to talk about is people saying join the Amazon influencer program for passive income or easy money or any variation of that. I've been making videos for just over 10 years. I've been in the Amazon influencer program for, I think, about close to 4 years. And here's what I will say. There absolutely is an element of passive income in the influencer program, and I love it. It's fantastic. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was sick. I didn't work for a week, but every day I was still earning about the same amount of money I earn every other day. I've gone on vacations for several weeks, don't work at all, and I still get paid the same amount. That is passive income. It's fantastic. But the reality is the passiveness of the Amazon influencer program is only going to last so long. The more accurate way to think about it is a front-loaded income. The work you do now will pay off in maybe a month, maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I want to show you my Genius Link dashboard because this kind of gives you a good idea of how passive things are now. So right now it's February 2026, and every year I create a new Amazon ID so I can track when I made a video. So if I make a video in 2024, I use the 2024 ID so I can see how long ago it is that I created a video. So if you look at my groups that are getting the most clicks, you can see, even though it's 2026 right now, most of my clicks are coming from videos I did in 2024, 2 years ago. And after that, it's 2025. So last year and 2023, I have one video that's doing well from 2018. We come all the way down here before I get to the videos that I'm making this year. So what this means is, for me, most of my earnings are coming from videos I've done last year or the year before, and that's been pretty consistent. A lot of my videos pay off like a year or two after the fact. Some of them take a while to build traction. I'm trying to build content that is evergreen, that lasts for a while. Ideally, I don't make videos for trending products, but I do videos for things that are going to stick around for a long time. My comparison videos or about videos tend to do really well because they can be popular year after year. I have a lot of videos that are seasonal. I have a video that I did on space heaters. I did this in 2018, and every year in the winter it kind of spikes up and it does really well. Now this past year it's not doing that great, but I think it still earned me about $100, and that's for a video I did like 7 or 8 years ago. So absolutely there's an element of passive income to the Amazon influencer program, but at the same time I made product review videos for about 2 or 3 years before I started making about $100 a month on this. I put in a lot of work making no money at all. So my advice for you is have the expectation that if you work hard, it can pay off, but it's not going to pay off immediately. If you're not having immediate success, that's okay. The important thing is that you stick with it, you get better, you learn, and you have fun. If you're not having fun, probably not worth it. I hope this video helped you in some way. Let me know in the comments down below what advice you think is good or what advice you think is bad, or if you have any question at all, I'd be happy to answer it. I love talking about the Amazon Influencer Program. Have a great day.